Hello, hello, West Ham Network. Today is the day we have a new head coach. It has officially happened. We've heard it being spoken about for a very long time now. There's been too much talk, like we said, for it to not happen. And this morning, the official announcement has happened. Graham Potter is the new head coach of West Ham. So we're just jumping on here really for 15 minutes to have a little chat about all things Graham Potter, what he could bring, what we can expect, how everyone's feeling about it. So for anyone that's watching, get involved in that comment section down below because we are going to be talking through everything you need to know about Graham Potter, everything we know so far from his time at Brighton and at Chelsea, what he could bring to us, what we can expect, and basically how we are feeling because this is far too big for us to not have a chat right now. So we're jumping on with a live. It is a special occasion. So like I said, jump in those comments. I want to hear your thoughts right now about Graham Potter. How are you feeling? Do you think this is an upgrade on Lopetegui? Are you feeling more hopeful for the rest of the season? So Toby, yes, Toby in the chat. We are doing a live. I hope everyone's good as well. Happy Thursday to you all, whatever you're up to. Are we feeling more optimistic about the season though? Because I definitely am. I think I'd sort of lost hope. I'd got to a weird point where it felt like nothing was quite going to change and we were just going to carry on in this weird limbo of not really doing very well. So I'm really, really happy to see that we are making changes. Obviously, the way that we actually went about it, we did speak about this in a little bit more detail, but it was an interesting old approach to how we actually went, the order in which we did this. But West Ham, come on your end. So let's have a chat first of all about what Potter could bring to West Ham. So I think the main thing that he's going to bring to West Ham is that stability, because we have not had that at all this season. Everything's been all over the place, from team selection to who we were actually playing. And Toby said, can we agree to set a deadline to get all the Harry Potter jokes out of our systems, go nuts for 48 hours and then stop? Deal. Do you know what? Actually, I can't agree to stop the Harry Potter jokes. I can't. There's too many. We can't fit them all in 48 hours, but we can definitely try. So get those Harry Potter jokes in the comments as well. But stability is what I'm most excited about, because at the moment it just feels like we have been chopping and changing to a ridiculous extent, to the point where players don't know how to play alongside each other because they're not even used to having game time in the positions that they play best in. Everything's just felt all over the place, from not playing players like Somerville as much as we could to playing other players out of position and then doing something completely different the next game, or doing a triple substitution in the second half, just showing that we don't really know what we were trying to do. And I think as fans, what concerned us most was not being able to even see what the manager was trying to do in terms of head coach, in terms of direction. So I'm hoping that Potter will be able to make this a lot more clear and just simple things up a little bit, because honestly, I feel like we've got to go back to basics at this moment in time, because things are just everywhere. So like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Barry said that he's happy for Potter. Yeah, nice. Thinks he'll be understood. John said, still slightly dissatisfied. We sacked our manager from how we were playing with Moyes, and our previous manager is like salt and sugar, one completely different style of play. It was going to take time. I do agree that everything was going to take time. I just don't know at what point you have to pull the plug. So for me, it was probably the fear that crept in from that lack of being able to see what we were doing that made me suddenly think, okay, like it's over. We're going to have to do something different. I do feel somewhat actually excited about Potter's appointment now. Obviously, he's not like the dream manager. He's not the one you would have chosen, but there are good parts of it. And what I'm really hoping to see from him is actually bringing the best out of players. We've got the likes of Paqueta and Kudus that have been amazing players in the past, but whatever's happened this season, they've been shocking, from giving possession away to just not, they're a shell of their former selves. So I'm really hoping that that's something that we can actually fix and that we're going to be able to improve under Potter, because I think he does just bring simplicity, which is what we need. Obviously, talking through a little bit of his history, he did really well at Brighton, and we know he struggled at Chelsea. We'll touch on that in a little bit more detail. But at Brighton, what we saw was a manager that you'd be pretty excited to sign, to be honest. It was only once he then went to Chelsea, he obviously got tempted over there, but it was almost an impossible task to make things work. So I don't want to necessarily judge him too early on that. I want to judge him on what he can do at West Ham instead. Because at Chelsea, I don't know if anyone's seen the interview, he was talking a lot about basically he kept getting players thrown at him, but players that had been promised game time. And obviously everyone had these contractual obligations and what they were expected to do. So he was suddenly found almost what we've been doing with Lopetegui, which is just chopping and changing, because he had to balance so many different players because loads of them had been promised game time. So I think this is where he was almost set up to fail from the beginning with Chelsea. And that's where I hope that we won't struggle in the same way with him at West Ham. Because he'll just come up with a little bit more of a direction. My voice is going a little bit. Sorry if you can hear the old crackle in the voice. Sound like my voice is breaking. Toby said, yeah, there weren't enough signs of progression and too many batterings under Lopetegui. I agree. I think it was in 8 games out of 20 so far this season, we conceded 3 or more goals. So that on its own is a horrible statistic. And I think it's the manner in which we were losing as well as losing that made us think we were shipping so many goals and struggling to score at times. And we had players underperforming. It's just the perfect storm for us to really, really struggle. Andrew said that he wanted him first. Nice. Been trying to go towards the Brighton model for a while now. Head coach, Brazilian scouting system, etc. And also another English coach in the Premier League is nice. It is true. West Ham fans have spoken for a very long time about how exciting the Brighton approach, the Brighton model is. And when you're looking at that, a big part of that was Graham Potter at the helm. So hopefully he can do something very similar for us. Did brilliantly at Brighton, got poached by Chelsea. Terrible club. They drag enough good managers through the mud. So exactly what we've been saying. Need to hit the ground running. With Potter, we've got him beginning. We should have got him at the beginning of the season. I agree, but I think once you've committed to a head coach, it's one of those, isn't it, where you have to stick with what you've got up to a certain point. I was a big advocate of giving time to Lopetegui. But I think at the beginning of the season, I said 8 games was the point at which I thought you kind of have to make a decision in terms of what you're going to do. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. But let's have a little chat about what he would actually bring in terms of style of play. So Potter, he works really well building from the back in possession, and he does it quite safely, which I think at the moment is probably what we need to just make things calm again. So it's a mixture of long passes and faster build-up play, and then he uses width in attack, and then he likes to create that front 5 in possession. So I think that's where, when we've seen us really able to create chances, you can push forward as a unit. And it's that fluid style of play that we used to be able to do, whether we were on the break or whatever it was, where we could just attack quite quickly because we were all moving. We weren't just standing and waiting and being marked. We were bloody running at the ball, and we were running towards their net and attacking in units. And that is what has worked best for us in terms of scoring goals. And it's what works for almost every team. So I'm hoping that we can bring back that fluid style of play by the way that Potter likes to basically press, get possession, and then sort of push up as a unit. He keeps sides quite disciplined as well, which is definitely something that we need. The amount of times where we've just lost a runner, just not bothered to mark up or not track back, or we've dived in and then lost possession right up the other end of the pitch, and then it just comes back, but there's like 3 of them on 2 of us. So these are the things where I think that lack of discipline has just crept in. It's slight moments of madness where we've just jumped in and made a mistake. But if Potter can cut those out, that would make a massive difference to the amount of goals that we're conceding. But with that discipline, you could see it under the way. It's why we hated playing them when he was manager at Brighton, because they press so well that they keep that pressure on when they're not in possession. And then they get possession and they basically run at you. And he got better and better at the way which he pressed at Brighton, which also created, obviously, a lot of chances. So simply put, what I'm excited about with Potter is that he can get that ball up the pitch. The area he did struggle a little bit more with was actually converting those chances. So if you had a look at the XG and basically how many goals Brighton were expected to score based on their build-up play, it was less than they were scoring. So they weren't necessarily that clinical. But this is something that obviously we know at West Ham we need to build on. We need to get more clinical. We need to have that clinical striker that we speak about and all of that. But I believe that if we can get the ball up there in the box, we have chances, and we do have multiple players that can put a ball in the back of the net. So it's all going to be steps in the right direction. I'm not saying Potter coming in is going to solve everything immediately. But yeah, we just need to be able to convert those chances. But things could get a lot more exciting, is what I'm trying to say, because Potter will help us get the ball up the pitch in the right way and neaten things up in defence. And for me, that's a winning combination, because I'm not even expecting the world's best style of play right now. I think we just need to take it back to basics, simple it up, and almost rebuild, start again, get our confidence back, believe in something again. So yeah, what else to mention? I think one of the other things that I find most interesting about Potter is, if you watch the analysis of his management, you see how he works to solve individual challenges in each area of play and adapt it to each opponent, often mid-game as well, without having to just make gigantic changes. I think what we've been guilty of this season is, when things haven't been working, we've just made a triple substitution. Just get those three off, get those three on. But it's not necessarily an actual plan that we have of what that's going to achieve on the pitch. And I think Potter's quite good at actually, sorry if you can hear a baby monitor there, Potter's quite good at actually being able to switch things up mid-game, but tactically, not just personnel. And I think that means that you can build that consistency and gradually improve game by game, because you keep the same players on, and you make it work with the ones that you have. So they're learning, they're getting better all the time. So that's my overview of what Potter could do for us at West Ham. I'm also a massive fan of the way that he speaks quite honestly about the situation, the project that he's taking on. Joan here said, just heard his first press conference on the West Ham site. Lots of people saying, John, he spoke really well at the presser. He might have convinced me. And it's exactly the same. I think he speaks with a lot of passion. He's also been quite honest. He's not sugarcoating it and saying that it's going to be the world's easiest task. But I feel like we almost need this communication, because it's not something you can just gloss over and hope that it goes away and everyone forgets or doesn't notice that it's a big old challenge we've got ahead, because we're going to have to work bloody hard to improve. But I think that's what we need. And he also spoke about like getting that togetherness and that joy of playing again. And that's something, it just feels like it's been gone. Let me know what you think in the comments, but it just feels like in the last however long, the joy has been sucked out. Like, the players on that pitch don't have the absolute pride and the excitement of playing for West Ham at the moment. And that's what we need to get back. And that's what Potter was also talking about. So I'm really hoping that we can do that. YouTube user, not inspired by the Potter appointment. And I understand this as well. I do know that Potter isn't probably the dream manager, but I do think he could come in and actually do a job for us at the moment. But saying he's overrated, the thing is, I guess we're going to have to see. You can only see what someone can do at your own club, I suppose. So completely understand. Whereas under Lopetegui, the new signings haven't improved us. We now need to define exactly our style of play and use the players who suit that style. And this is a really important point as well, is that I think a big part of why we're looking at last summer and saying it wasn't a success in terms of transfers is that players are underperforming. And if we can get them performing and bring in some players in January to strengthen the side and get everything ticking and working better together, I don't necessarily think we need 6-7 players. Like, you'd probably look at our side right now and go, oh my God, we need this position, that position. I think there are things that we can fix within what we have as well. So I'm hoping that Potter's going to be able to bring that. Toby said, Wingardium Leviosa, our league position. Here they are. Here are all the Harry Potter puns. Let's hope Potter can work his magic. Robert, I completely agree. It's going to be very interesting to see his first team lineup. Am I covering the press conference today? I'm afraid I'm not. I would love to, but unfortunately, I am quickly chatting through this and then running off to a daycare settling in session for my daughter, who is starting daycare, which is mad. Today's the first day where I'm leaving her as well. So not feeling great about that. But, you know, we move. What can we do? She's got to get used to it at some point. She screams at me at home. We might as well have her scream at someone at daycare. Irons. So what else have we got in the comments? Like I said, let me know your thoughts on Graham Potter. Are we happy? Are we sad? What are we excited about? What are we concerned about? With a new manager, with every club, most of the times, the team with the new manager wins. That new manager bounce. We didn't get it under Lopetegui. And for once, I was really excited because we had that pre-season, didn't we, to build everything up and get going again. And it just didn't happen. If we can get that new manager bounce, get a bit of faith restored, let's go. I reckon we could have a fun second half of the season. I think the style of play needs to take a back step. Yeah, completely agree with this, James. Stabilise things, make us hard to beat. I want us to just be difficult to face. That's what I want. I want us to just calm it down. We don't need to have I'm not saying not the exciting style of play, because I think that comes with being better in defence and being better in attack, which is what I want us to do. But I think we don't need to necessarily be like, oh, this is the standout attribute that makes Potter's style of play so different and so exciting. And that's how West Ham play. I honestly think at the moment, take it back to basics, get things working, build on it from there, add a bit of style of play as we go on, but not trying to install it from the beginning when it's not something that we've already got. And then I think next season will be when we'll be able to kick on. And if Potter can do a good job, like I'd like to think that he could stay long term and actually build on that. Like we said, Paul, yep, more than happy with this appointment. It's a step in the right direction. I like him. Let's hope he can get Kudus to pass to a teammate. That is the hope, isn't it? Because when Kudus can pass to a teammate, he's very, very exciting. At least when Potter talks, he doesn't sound like ChatGPT wrote the script. At least he understands what he's trying to say. He does speak well. He communicates very well. He speaks very openly and honestly. And he gives a lot of information, which I would say a lot of head coaches master the act of saying a lot but giving absolutely nothing, like the stock phrases of we're trying hard, we know that we need to do well in the league, we need to be ambitious, all that stuff that doesn't really give you any grit. Potter seems to actually give a bit more, which I'm a big fan of, because again, I think that openness and transparency with the fans is good as well as with the players, so can't be a bad thing. Imagine us playing them little triangles. Kudus will hate that. Yes, bring out the triangles, Graham Potter. Bring out the triangles. Colin, maybe convert more chances once Evan Ferguson joins on loan. Completely agree with that. We need to sort the striker situation out. And I think if we can get Potter doing the build-up play in the same way he did at Brighton, where he creates all these chances, he gets the ball near that box, and you've got loads of players in numbers, and you've just run up as a unit, so you've basically torn their defence apart. If we can get a player that's clinical and can put those goals away, it's going to be an exciting one. Still can't afford a mic at the press conferences. Morning, impressed with his answers to the questions. Completely agree. I think Lopetegui's done a really good job of just, I guess, addressing things in the right way. Moose asked a question as to whether West Ham should be thankful for him to come into the job. Potter replied saying, no, I'm very lucky to be managing a huge club with a fantastic supportive fan base. He knows what we want to hear, doesn't he? He's a clever one. He's a clever clogs. Paul thinks he's going to get the chemistry behind the team. This is what I'm most excited about, because he's spoken about that passion and that pride and that happiness to go into training, to work hard, but not misunderstanding that there's also a massive job at hand. And I think that combination of understanding that you're doing something so important that so many fans care about, but there also needs to be that joy and that happiness so that it is fun for everyone, because it should be. And we play the most exciting football when players are excited on the ball and they want to run off the ball and they want to pass and they want possession. At the moment, we've been hiding behind other players because we're like, oh, no, don't pass to me. So this is where I think this is going to be so exciting. And I really hope that this could be turning a corner by just stabilising things, bringing things back to basics, and going again. Andy's looking forward to having Potter on board. Like me, hoping you can get the best out of the lads. We don't have a bad squad, just a couple of additions needed. Overrated, not for me. That's exactly it. If we can get those players performing that currently aren't, we don't need to necessarily go, oh, Kudus can't pass, get rid. Paqueta's doing terribly, get rid. Even although not many people would want to buy Paqueta right now, given the situation. But you can't just get rid of these players if there's a chance that you can get the best out of them. And something has made these players stop performing in the last however many months. So if Potter is able to turn that round rather than needing to replace them, it's win-win, because we know that they have that skill deep down. It's just about unlocking that. Another appointment for a manager in their last chance to succeed. Wish the club would change their mindset for manager appointments. I understand that we are obviously taking on a manager that struggled at Chelsea massively, and where Chelsea are is where we want to kind of get to. So when you look at it like that, it's not ideal. But I do feel like I hope he proves that he can do this. That's what I really, really am hoping. Team morale is so massive. Get the good feelings back and we'll fly up the table. It's exactly it. If you're all depressed, like you see some of the players walking up the tunnel, it looks like they're going to their death. Like we need to go and get that oomph back in and have that pride and that excitement. And I think it'll get the fans back behind them and the atmosphere will improve. And it's just going to be a snowball effect in the right way. If we can get a couple of results, a positive start, and just get that enthusiasm back for all of us. Jones said he's really enthusiastic and ready to go, and I'm here for it as well. Morning, Steve. We all have to give Potter a chance, saying anything is better than what we have been served up this season. And I think that's the other thing. I don't know many people that still had hope that things could turn a corner with Lopetegui. And at that point, you need to try something new. I wouldn't say Potter is a horrific option. And there are many attributes, like I've said, that mean that he could actually do a really good job for us. So I'm really hoping so. Wingardium Leviosa sounds like a young Dutch winger. Maybe we'll sign Wingardium Leviosa in January, perhaps in summer. We need a new song for Potter, but not much rhymes with it. Potter? I don't know. I don't know where that word just came from. Probably wouldn't make a very good song. I'll leave it with you guys. Good luck with the daycare. My daughter loves it. Thank you so much. Funnily enough, I actually worked in daycares for 6 years. So I remember the settling in sessions well, but then I remember that the babies just had the best time ever the rest of the time. As soon as the parents arrived, they'd have a little cry at the beginning, but I knew that they were having an amazing time. So being on the other side of that now as a mum is really weird. But Mia loved it yesterday. So hopefully the first session without me being there, she loves it and forgets that I exist for the hour and a half that we have today. Get the sorting hat to give team talks. I mean, to be fair, it's quite wise. It does know its stuff. I hope him and Tim are proper bum buddies, need that relationship to be good. I agree with that as well, Toby. I think having that relationship, and Potter did speak about how him and the club are on the same page in terms of short term what's required and then medium and long term how they build that. And that's going to be so important because more than ever we need to be singing from the same hymn book and actually have that unified direction of what we're doing. Because if it starts getting messy straight away, like no one can perform to the best of their abilities, whether it's players or a manager. So hopefully we can do this. Potter has a master's in management, as in people management. Didn't know that. I think it'll work with certain players. It is a team effort after all. And this is all it. We need to get the players back behind the mission that we are on, like the job at hand. We've got to just refocus and go, this is what we're doing, because it feels like that's just got lost recently. It feels like it's got lost. The big word I took away from that presser was the need for balance. That's exactly it. Potter's been talking about this balance, and that's what we don't have. I mean, we do have balance because we've not been very good in attack or in defence, but the balance that we would like to achieve is stopping leaking that goals, working as a team again, and actually being able to attack, like being one, because at the moment it's like a lot of individuals and nothing's linking up. So I think Potter could do that. Potter's got to play the players in the right position. Completely agree with that. Potter's a people person, and this matters so much. It's like if you were working under a boss that could communicate things well, got you motivated, raring to go in the morning, or someone that walked in, didn't really bother to explain anything, seemed really down, didn't say much. Who are you going to work better under? It's kind of a no-brainer. So I'm really hoping that we do see the best out of Potter. Very optimistic, Matty said. I think we're going to make significant changes. Toby thinks Fulkrug is decent, but he's probably going. I agree. I think he has put away chances when he's been given opportunities. Obviously, we knew that age wasn't on his side, and long-term, it probably wasn't the dream appointment. And then the injury made things difficult. He's done a job, like when he's been given the chance. So we'll see if he remains. Our new style of play from football to Quidditch, says Barry. James thinks we need a new centre-back, energetic midfielder and a quick striker. I can't argue with that at all. We need someone to shore up that defence. We need a bit more pace and ability to get up and back in midfield, and a quick striker that knows where the back of the net is. Let's hope Souček isn't going to be Potter's little golden snitch, says Barry. Very excited about Potter. Happy with the appointment of Graham Potter. Yes, Lee. Scooby, Potter is big on emotional intelligence and empathy. Hope he can tap into the players and bring smiles back on their faces. Yes. Come on, you Irons, Scooby. And do you know what? Exactly the same. I want smiles back on all of our faces because it's been miserable. Loving the positivity. Thanks for live chat. Got you, Joan. Got you. We need to celebrate these things. We need to celebrate these things. Who do I think will be the next, the ex-West Ham player to join the coaching staff? I mean, James Collins would be good. I think it needs to be somebody to understand what it means to be West Ham. So for me, if that happens, then I'm happy with that. Should bring back James Ward-Prowse. Happy with this change. Steve says great appointment. Will says he does know West Ham United, not a Quidditch team. Joking, great signing, excited. We go to games knowing we're going to get slapped up by every team at the moment. Loppy drained our squad and any hopes of turning it round. Bruno Salter is Hagrid. Experienced and honest, fit for our great club. Morning. I'm a very happy Hammerette. I'm very happy. To be honest, I think it's been a difficult season and we've got to make the most of what we've got. And for me, Potter is a step up. Potter's a step in the right direction. And if he can stabilise things, I'll be more happy. Not something I thought I'd be saying about a season ago, but if we can just stabilise things, calm it down, bring it back to basics, I'll be more happy than ever. Right appointment, right time. I'm on board with the appointment. Means we might not miss the board with Carrick. Yes. How many points do you think Potter will get from his first 5 league games? Oh, I need to look at the fixtures, but if I had to say, I'm hoping 8. I'm going to say he can get 7. I'll be buzzing because it's going to be a slow process turning things around. And I think to stabilise things, it might look a little bit uninspiring in terms of the style of play that we speak so much about at the moment. But I think from there we can build. So I'm going to say 7. Let me know what you're all thinking. No more square pegs playing around holes. I guess the difficulty is, Ricky, is that in football, there's always situations like injuries or whatever where the odd time someone's going to have to do that. But I completely agree that we need to play players in their best positions. We need to make the most out of people's strengths. Whereas at the moment, it feels like we've been ignoring their strengths and just pushing them elsewhere. We can thank Lopetegui for Max Kilman. He's solid. Fulcrook's been described to me by my German colleagues as imagine closer, but he's a shithouse and needs the correct service. And oh yeah, his assist versus Southampton is what he does best. And this is where Potter's build-up play, where we attack as a unit and we actually put pressure on to get possession and then push up, could actually mean that we can give that service to a striker. So that is something we would be able to potentially do. Press conference looking positive. I think the press conference has helped a lot. From all the comments I'm seeing, everyone's really happy, and likewise I think it's brilliant that the presser has got us all a little bit excited again. Do you think we need a manager who's not scared to make changes and put the players not pulling their weight in their places? Yes, and I think Potter will be able to do this as well. He doesn't seem to pull any punches when he's not happy. Sorry if anyone can hear the baby monitor, by the way. I have a baby that is beginning to awaken, so I am going to head off in a second. But I just wanted to jump on here and talk with you all because there are definitely positive bits of Potter's game. We've got to go in happy. There's no point in us all being sad and angry when we haven't seen what Potter can do yet. And I'm excited and I hope that he can prove himself and just calm things down. He also loves the youth. That is a very, very good point. Hate the Spuds. Very, very good point, because that's something that hopefully we'll be able to give some more opportunities to the youngsters. Just a thought, can Potter wave his wand and fix Bowen's foot and Miguel's leg? He's hoping he can, John. I'm loving these Harry Potter jokes. I feel like we need to get as many as we can in every single live stream that happens. But yeah, I think all in all, like we've said here, the press conference looks positive. Graham Potter does have attributes that he can do well. He builds from the back. He plays well in possession quite safely. He keeps sides disciplined, which is something that we've been lacking. He gets the ball up the pitch and hopefully we can then convert those chances. So that's all from me, but thank you so much for joining me. It has been an absolute pleasure. If you are new around here, hit that subscribe button, please, because we would love to see you. Continue to follow the West Ham Network. As always, leave a comment, give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, because it helps the channel massively to support us, to help us get seen by more people. We love each and every one of you. Appreciate you all. Souček interim captain. It'll be interesting to see what we do without Bowen. You never know. Potter might just mix it up and go for someone like Kilman that's done it before. Can we use the themed Harry Potter as our walk-on for our first home game? On that note, Lawrence, you just won it. I think we need to do that at West Ham. Tell me the Harry Potter theme tune wouldn't get you hyped up for the Villa game. Tell me it wouldn't. So there you go. That is all from me for now. Thank you so much as always for watching. Please hit that thumbs up if you are watching as well. Drop us a comment because all the engagement supports the channel massively. Appreciate each and every one of you for watching. Graham Potter is the new head coach. There we have it. He's in. We begin our new project today. We've got some big games coming up because if we can pick up some points, I think that league table is going to look a lot more flattering. Morale's going to get higher. We're going to win the league. You're welcome, Joan. Let's have a great day, everyone. Have a good one. Happy Thursday. Over and out. Till next time. Come on, you Irons. Irons. Yes, Lawrence. Come on, you Irons. No worries, Barry. Bye-bye. Don't know what this salute is. You need to talk to Russ about the theme tune. There's work to be done on West Ham Network. Maybe like a Blowing Bubbles Harry Potter remix. You never know. Heard it here first. Russ is very good at these things. So if anyone can do it, Russ can. Have a great day. Bye. Bye-bye.